In today's topic, we want to talk about men and their emotions and what do we think when it comes to them and how they portray them. What do you think? Coming from, or you want me to go first?
I mean, sure, we have problems with showing emotion. I can't speak for every man, but from the ones that were taught from a young age to, keep your emotions in, don't show any. Especially emphasis on the ones that showing, crying if you're upset and stuff like that. But it's okay to show anger and frustration and stuff like that. So from the ones that were taught that from a young age, it's really hard when they get to an adult, when they become an adult, to to break out of it, because you've been doing it for so long since you was a child, that when you get to an adult, you're doing the same thing. It just, when you become an adult, you have things to deal with, though, and it becomes really, really hard, because when the show, if you feel like you show too much, the whole stigma behind men don't cry, and if you show that you're upset or stuff like that about something, people are gonna think that you're weak. You know what I'm saying? Especially around women. You know what I'm saying? Women or whoever you think are gonna make it. You may feel like they may think you're weak if you show that emotion, but in actual reality, that's not the case at all. You know what I'm saying? It's actually unhealthy to keep all that bottled in. Unless you found a way to, you let it out, when you by yourself or something like that. Because, every man is not, He-Man, Iron Man and stuff like that. Everybody goes through something. Everybody deals with something. So finding ways to cope with it is the best way. But to bottle it in, that's not good at all. Like, you have to find ways to let it out, because there's natural anger, what I'm saying? I feel like associated with being a man is just natural aggression. And, it comes from, our testosterone. But finding a way to release that aggression and that anger, such as playing sports or doing a bunch of things that's gonna allow you, working out, and allow you to release that anger some type of way, in a healthy way. You want to find healthy habits, of releasing your inside feelings, because we don't show what we feel on the inside. It's always the outside frame. You know what I'm saying? So women do too, but as far as a man, like, we are taught to never show emotion at all. So that's how I feel about
I think that a lot of men, there are very few men that have no problem with showing their emotion. But like you said,
percentage.
Very low. But like you said, that comes from
That's growth.
yeah, and that comes from years and years, as even growing up, even as kids. Most boys are taught to don't be crying. You a boy, you gotta toughen up, stuff like that.
And I agree with those things, but to keep it, I don't agree with it being bottled in. You know what I'm saying? Don't bottle it in, because that's only going to hurt you in the long run. But I agree with the toughening up part, because you're a man. That's what you're supposed to go through.
It's kind of like it has to be a balance, because even though because men are already naturally looked as tougher, harder. We run to men to protect us. For anything, somebody breaks in the house, you looking for the guy that's in the house, or if you need something, or if you're afraid. So they're taught to be tough and not just cry or whine, but at the same time, they're not taught to, veer your emotions towards somewhere else. Learn to balance your emotions. Don't let people who don't know you, like, see you cry or something like that. It's just like, don't let nobody see you cry.
That's the issue.
Or don't cry at all. Some men never release that, so that becomes a problem, because Now they have all, like you said, all that built up anger on top. Everything in life that happens, like men are always just expected to be the ones that's okay, that's tough, that's comforting us and things like that. But I feel like it should be okay for them to cry sometimes, especially when things have been tough. It's okay for them to say they're frustrated, but I feel like they should be taught as those little boys, learn to control your emotions, not just shut them off or not just hide them, but learn to control them, learn when and where to express them and how, and that your emotions are okay to have as a male.
Well, that's the issue. They don't know how to control their emotions or release their emotions because it's been bottled up for so long, and they've been taught a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go recondition themselves and relearn how to do it.
Right.
You know, because it will never be fixed unless you unlearn what you've been taught and reteach yourself, you know, how to do it.
Right.
Because there's a way to release anger and,
mm-hmm.
you know, sadness, happiness, even happiness.
Yeah.
People, some dudes are taught not to get too happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
that's bad.
That's crazy.
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But, you know, they have to reteach themselves how to do it.
It's sad because a lot of guys, that's true, they're even taught not to be happy to a certain extent, because I feel it's funny because if a guy walks into a room and he's smiling, he's just like, I just feel good. How y'all doing today? Sometimes people be like, okay, you in a good mood, you all right? Well, what's going on? Like,
right.
they expect
something
they expect something good to have happened
right.
to put
Why
you in a
can't
good
a person be in a good mood? Like,
right.
They're in a good
Especially
mood. That's a good thing. You want him to walk in there with a mean mug and,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Just don't talk to nobody. Just mean mug everybody. Walk past everybody. Forget y'all. Then you're going to feel like, okay, he not messing with nobody. Like, you don't mess with me. Like, no, bro.
I also feel like, since you brought up the point of like nobody ever teaching men as boys how to control the emotions or where to put the emotions, like where to put them, it's funny because I feel that a lot of the people that are putting it in those little boys' heads to be strong, toughen up, wipe your face, don't cry, those are the same people as adults who still probably don't know how to control their emotions.
They're still trying to balance their emotions.
They still trying to balance their life, or they're still trying not to be emotionally overwhelmed with whatever's going on in life.
Right.
So, as people, we all have to learn. We all have to find our outlet source. Like, what is our outlet to being happy? What is our outlet for when we're upset, when we're frustrated? What can we do to calm us down? To where we have to learn that we can't take that out on other people. And as a society, we have to learn that it is okay for people to show emotions, especially our men and our boys, because as parents, as aunties, as uncles, as wives, anything, even when they're little boys and something's wrong, you want them to tell you what's wrong so you can help them. Even when you get with a guy and y'all are in a relationship, if something's bothering him, you would want him to be able to come to you and say, listen, I just need to talk to you, I had a bad day today. Or you want him to feel comfortable being able to, if somebody passes away, you want him to be comfortable to just be able to cry on your shoulder.
And another thing is, I agree. Another thing is, it's been so ingrained in our heads that when it comes time for a man to, you know, get it off his chest to a woman or another person, it feels very, very awkward. Yeah. It's an awkward situation. You just like, do I do it or do I don't do it? Right. You know what I'm saying? And half the time they don't do it because they don't want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like been bottled up, so it's just like, forget it. I'm just going ahead and deal with it by myself. Yeah. And I'm going to go about my day. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you have to like reteach yourself and go through it again so you can feel comfortable. You're not gonna really be from you doing it. If you're doing it since you've been doing it from a child, you're not gonna be really super comfortable with it at first. You know what I'm saying? But it takes practice. You know.
You know what I feel like is a big thing with that?
What?
That I feel like another big thing with why certain people are just they rather keep them in, let nobody see, because people will make you feel so uncomfortable. And like you said, another big thing is I feel like a lot of people are worried about, well, are you gonna throw that back in my face later? Are you gonna go tell somebody what I talked about? Cause you do have some mean people out there. Like, if a guy came to you, he's upset, he's crying, he's just like, I had a long day, my job is this, life not going good, I don't know what to do.
Why you crying? Yeah.
Some people are gonna be like, why you crying? What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll be like, man, toughen up. Like, some people, they do automatically reject you instead of saying, okay, listen, let's take a deep breath. Let's talk about it first. What's going on? Okay, how can we fix this? Well, how are you getting a relief from everyday life to where your emotions, it is not all pounding inside of you? So, or you may have somebody that later on be like, man, you know, so-and-so was hurt, they was crying about this, that, and the third. And it's sad because a lot of guys have guy friends that will laugh at them. People will laugh at you for being any type of emotional.
Right.
Even if you're not crying and you're not mad. I've seen guys where they like, nah, man, I'm chilling today, you know, man, it's just crazy today. But they not trying to talk about it, but they just trying to let you know, like, they not in the mood to be all hyped today. Right. And their friends are just like, man, or they like clowning them about it or joking on them about it or picking on them about it. So that's another thing. We have to all let people know it's okay to not, we can't make them feel bad for showing their emotions or go talk about it to somebody else, saying he was crying to me about this or he was talking about that, or go tell your friends what he told you out of comfort, like, oh, he got this going on at home, he lost his job. So I think that's another thing too. I feel like that's why even a lot of women, why they, you know, that just all comes down to who you have in your circle. I feel like as you get older, you have to find those in men and women. You have to find that circle of people that you can confide in. They're not gonna judge you. They just gonna give you advice and try to help you. Right. But I feel like that plays a big part in it too, because you feel like you're gonna get some type of backlash from it. As a kid, you know you're gonna get in trouble. You're probably gonna get in trouble for it.
That's a fact.
So as an adult, so when you get like teenage years, you're getting picked on about it. So when you're an adult, you get even more punches in the back just for showing an emotion sometimes. So it's just like, and a lot of people they don't make you feel comfortable about it. So I can't say it's just men that they don't like to show their emotions. I feel like society isn't raising them for them to feel like it's okay, and we have so many expectations from a man and a male and boys. We have so many high expectations from them that it just makes it seem out of the ordinary for them to have any type of emotion, and it's not what we expect. So I feel like you said, we have to change how we're raising the boys, raising them as boys when it comes to the emotion. And we as ourselves, as the adults, as the parents and the relatives raising those boys, we have to also find our own source of outlet, because sometimes we're telling them to keep their emotions in, but we not keeping them in ourselves. We yelling at them because they upset, but it's really because we upset.
Not helping the situation.
And that doesn't help. I've seen a lot of parents do that. They frustrated because they had a long day at work, and their kid comes home, he's crying, and they're automatically yelling at you. What's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Da, da, da. Instead of just being like, hey, talk to me today. What's going on? What's the problem? What's wrong? Right. We have to let them know, like, it's okay to say what's wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, if it's a situation where it doesn't require that much emotion, then okay, you can say, we don't have to cry about it today. But some things where it's like, if it's too much, then you can't tell them, you can't make them feel bad about it. Because, some kids are crying sometimes over anything. But when things are going on, you have to understand their feelings.
Right. Yep. So that wraps up this segment of the podcast, and we'll see you guys later.
All right, see you guys in the next episode.